You've been lied to. Systematically, relentlessly, from the moment you could understand language. You've been told that goodness is a virtue, that kindness makes you strong, that forgiveness is a path to liberation, that empathy is your greatest asset. It's all a carefully constructed delusion, a societal tranquilizer designed to keep you compliant, predictable, and weak. This isn't a lecture on morality, this is an intervention, a brutal confrontation with the reality that conventional goodness is not a shield. It's an open wound in the psychological warfare of existence. The world doesn't reward goodness. It exploits it, it preys on it, it grinds it underfoot. Look around you. Who truly holds power? Who truly commands respect? Is it the man who always turns the other cheek? The woman who forgives every betrayal? Or is it the individual who understands the raw, unvarnished mechanics of power? Who acts with calculated precision and who knows when to be ruthless, when to be charming, and when to be utterly, uncompromisingly Machiavellian? Machiavelli didn't advise cruelty for cruelty's sake. He advised effectiveness. He understood that the world is inherently amoral and that to navigate it successfully, one must often operate outside the comfortable confines of conventional virtue. His brutal truth: a prince who desires to maintain his state must learn how not to be good, and to use this knowledge or not use it according to the necessity of the case. This isn't a lecture on morality. This is an intervention, a brutal confrontation with the reality that conventional goodness is not a shield. It's an open wound in the psychological warfare of existence. Let's dissect this illusion. What is goodness in the eyes of society? It's often defined by self-sacrifice, by putting others' needs before your own, by an almost pathological aversion to conflict, by an eagerness to forgive even unforgivable transgressions. It's the belief that if you are good, good things will happen to you. This is childish fantasy. This is the mindset of the lamb leading itself to slaughter. The world doesn't care about your intentions. It cares about your actions and their consequences. And for the good man, the consequence is often exploitation. Consider forgiveness. You've been taught it's a mark of strength, a path to peace. Lies. Forgiveness, when unearned, when offered unconditionally to those who have wronged you, is a strategic blunder. It teaches your aggressor that there are no consequences. It signals weakness. It invites further transgression. The good person forgives out of a sense of moral superiority or a desperate desire for peace. The pragmatic individual understands that some offenses demand retribution, or at the very least, a permanent severing of ties. You don't forgive your enemies, you neutralize them, or you remove them from your sphere of influence. Forgiveness without justice is self-inflicted psychological damage. It's a strategic retreat in the face of an ongoing assault. Empathy. Another lauded virtue. To understand another's pain, to feel their struggle. Noble, yes, but in the wrong hands or applied without discretion, empathy becomes a crippling vulnerability. The good person is easily manipulated by appeals to their conscience, to their sense of fairness, to their emotional connection. They are paralyzed by the suffering of others, even when that suffering is a direct result of another's poor choices or malicious intent. The good person becomes the emotional garbage dump for everyone else. They absorb the pain, the problems, the burdens, often at the expense of their own well-being and strategic advantage. You must control your empathy. Use it as a tool for understanding, yes, but never allow it to become a chain around your neck, dragging you down into the abyss of another's making. Emotional detachment is not coldness. It is strategic clarity. It is a necessary shield in a world full of predators. Trust. Oh, the beautiful, fragile concept of trust. The good person trusts inherently, believes in the inherent goodness of others. They extend their hand, open their heart, and are shocked when that hand is bitten, that heart is pierced. Machiavelli understood this. Men are so simple and yield so readily to the desires of the moment that he who deceives will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. The good person operates under the assumption of shared values, of mutual respect, of a level playing field. This is a fatal assumption. The world is populated by individuals driven by self-interest, by ambition, by a primal desire to dominate. To trust blindly is to offer your throat to the knife. You must scrutinize, you must verify, you must operate with a healthy dose of cynicism. Trust must be earned, and even then it must be continuously re-evaluated. Do not confuse trust with naivete. Your goodness makes you gullible. And what about self-sacrifice? The good person is often the first to give, to concede, to put their own needs last. They believe this will earn them admiration, loyalty, reciprocity. It rarely does. It often earns them contempt, exploitation, and resentment. People value what they have to fight for, what they have to earn. When you constantly give, when you constantly sacrifice, you devalue yourself. You train others to expect your generosity without offering anything in return. The good person becomes a doormat, walked over, then discarded when they are no longer useful. Your goodness turns you into a resource to be consumed, not an individual to be respected. This isn't a call to embrace evil. It's a call to embrace reality. The reality that the world is a relentless arena, and if you play by the rules of conventional goodness, you will lose. You will be outmaneuvered, you will be dominated, you will be broken. Machiavelli understood that leadership, that survival, demands a different calculus, a calculus of necessity, of pragmatism, of calculated action over abstract morality. He understood that a leader must be both lion and fox, strong enough to terrify, cunning enough to avoid traps. Where is the fox in your goodness? Where is the lion? To be effective, to be dominant, you must shed the crippling illusions of goodness. This means 1. Embrace strategic self-interest. Your well-being, your objectives, your power, these are paramount. Not in a narcissistic void, but as the foundation from which you can actually make an impact. You cannot help others if you are constantly being crushed yourself. Your goodness often manifests as a rejection of your own needs, a self-sabotage under the guise of virtue. 2. Cultivate calculated detachment. Learn to observe, to analyze, to act, without being overwhelmed by emotion, especially sympathy or guilt. This isn't about being heartless, it's about being effective. Your goodness often means you are paralyzed by feelings, unable to make the hard decisions that are necessary for your survival and advancement. The battlefield demands a cold assessment of the terrain, not a warm embrace of the enemy. 3. Understand leverage and power dynamics. The good man shies away from power, believing it corrupts. The effective individual understands that power is simply the ability to influence, and without it, your good intentions are meaningless. You must learn to acquire, wield, and protect your power. Your goodness makes you allergic to the very force that could change your circumstances. 4. Practice discretionary forgiveness and retribution. Forgiveness is not a default setting. It is a choice, and a powerful one, but only when it serves a strategic purpose. Sometimes the only language a transgressor understands is consequence. Your goodness makes you vulnerable to repeated attacks because you broadcast that you will always forgive, always forget. 5. Master the art of perception management. The world responds to what it perceives, not always what is true. Machiavelli said, "It is a good thing to appear to be good, but to be truly good is often ruinous." Your goodness often makes you transparent, predictable, and thus easily countered. Learn to control your image. Learn to project strength, even when you feel vulnerable. Learn to project resolve, even when you feel uncertainty. This isn't a license for amorality. This is a blueprint for survival. This is a strategic manual for those who refuse to be pawns in a game they don't understand. Your goodness has been weaponized against you. It's time to disarm it. It's time to understand that the world respects strength, not moral purity. It respects effectiveness, not abstract virtue. The good man seeks approval. The powerful man seeks dominance. The good man hopes for fairness. The powerful man creates his own fairness. The good man waits for opportunity. The powerful man seizes it. The good man is constrained by what he should do. The powerful man is guided by what is necessary. Which one are you going to be? Stop seeking validation through self-defeating virtues. Stop believing that your niceness will shield you from the harsh realities of competition and conflict. It won't. It never will. It will only make you an easier target. Your goodness is not protecting you. It is sabotaging you. It is the invisible chain around your ankle holding you back from your true potential. Machiavelli offers a different path. Not a path of evil, but a path of clarity. A path of brutal honesty about human nature and the mechanisms of power. He urges you to shed the comfortable lies and face the uncomfortable truths. That sometimes to be truly good to yourself, to your cause, to those you protect, you must be willing to be perceived as not good by those who cling to naive idealism. You must be willing to make hard choices, to stand firm, to enforce boundaries, to demand respect, and to, at times, exact consequence. This isn't about being cruel. It's about being effective. This isn't just content. This is psychological warfare. This is an awakening. If you're tired of being pushed around, tired of being taken advantage of, tired of your goodness being your greatest liability, then you understand the brutal truth. Stop being good. Start being effective. Start being strong. Subscribe for more.